This is Keep On Cookin', a podcast dedicated to plant-based cookbooks, created, produced, and hosted by a cookbook lover for cookbook lovers. This podcast features interviews with the authors themselves, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the stories behind the recipes. Here to bring you your weekly dose of culinary inspiration. So grab a cookbook and keep on cooking. I'm Dustin Harder, and this is Keep On Cooking. Hello and welcome to Keep On Cooking, the only podcast dedicated to plant-based cookbooks. I'm your host, Dustin Harder, and it's just me today because some of us can carry the weight of an entire production and look stunning doing it. And today, I'm that guy. I'm just here by myself, doing the darn thing. I'm here to peel through the book today, The Vegan Instant Pot by Nisha Vora, and I'm doing this because her second cookbook, Big Vegan Flavor, Techniques and 150 Recipes to Master Vegan Cooking, is currently a 2025 James Beard Award nominee in the category of vegetable-focused cooking. Round of applause for that. Now, Nisha was on Keep On Cooking to chat through Big Vegan Flavor on episode 115, so if you want to take a closer look at the book, Big Vegan Flavor, and hear from Nisha herself, including her history, detailing how she went from being a lawyer to cookbook author and social media influencer, you can get it all there on episode 115. But for today, I'm digging through her first book, Vegan Instant Pot Cookbook, Wholesome, Indulgent, Plant-Based Recipes. This book came out in 2019 and is authorized by Instant Pot. We talked about it a little bit in episode 115. It has almost 5,000 reviews on Amazon, y'all. So this book really took off. Super big time bestseller. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it'd be fun to go through it and check it out. With food and photos as vivid, joyous, and wholesome as the title of her popular cooking blog, Rainbow Plant Life suggests, Nisha Vora shares nourishing recipes with her loyal followers daily. In her debut cookbook, she makes healthy, delicious, everyday cooking a snap with more than 90 nutritious and colorful recipes you can make easily with the magic of an Instant Pot pressure cooker. With a comprehensive primer to the machine and all its functions, you too can taste the rainbow with a full repertoire of vegan dishes. Start the day with Nisha's homemade coconut yogurt or breakfast enchilada casserole. Sounds interesting, right? Then move on to the hearty mains like Miso Mushroom Risotto. Oh, delicious. Sounds so good. And even decadent desserts, including double fudge chocolate cake and red wine-poached pears. The Vegan Instant Pot Cookbook will quickly become a go-to source of inspiration in your kitchen. Now, if y'all have this book at home and you've cooked from it, I would love for you to hit me up in the DMs and tell me what your favorite recipes are, and I will circle back and share that with everyone, because I got to tell you, I love this book. I have not used it, but I mean, classic to Nisha Vora form, Rainbow Plant Life form. It's colorful, like everything that description says, colorful, vibrant, and everything looks and sounds so good. I have to say, a friend of ours had us over for dinner and made the adult grilled cheeses from Big Vegan Flavor, and they were spot on, so delicious, full of that big vegan flavor, and also just fun. Like, we added chili crisps to a grilled cheese, like, hello, and pickled onions, I think. So good. So I'm really excited to take a closer look at this book, the Vegan Instant Pot Cookbook by Nisha Vora, because I know it's going to be full of all those goodies, just like Big Vegan Flavors, which is why I got it. Like, having this podcast, I'm very fortunate that like publishers like send me books and everything, but this one came out in 2019 before the podcast was out. So after I had her on the podcast and chatted with her, I was like, I'm buying this book. Like, I want this. I don't know about you, but I tend to lean on my Instant Pot for rice like that. Like, I almost use it as a rice maker, and occasionally I'm like, oh, let me make something. But I have this because in my dream world, I have time to turn to it and like get exploratory with my Instant Pot. And I feel like this is the perfect book to do that with. So let's take a look, right? As mentioned in that description, she does get in depth about the Instant Pot in the beginning. how to use it in Instant Pot models, Instant Pot sizes. She talks about the function keys, the steaming, the ricing, the soup, how to make all these different things with basic functions, operation keys, pressure release, and then just some other terminologies like the how to secure the lid, silicone sealing ring, floating valve, anti-block shield, condensation collector, all that Instant Pot stuff, right? Which is honestly, I need to be schooled on it all. So I'm glad she goes through all of this in here. I When I was in culinary school, I remember they would get out the pressure cooker. You know, that's the old school style of the Instant Pot where it goes on the stove and you can't see inside of it. And I was terrified of it because I was like, I need to see what I'm cooking. Like, and so whenever we had an assignment in class, and this is like, you're in school to learn, but I was so scared of it, I would like run away and I'd be like, I hope someone else gets that assignment because I don't want to deal with that in class. Um, but I've gotten more comfortable with it over the years, especially with an Instant Pot. So I said I use it usually for rice, but I have made dishes in it and it does make me a lot more comfortable. I guess having all the bells and whistles and buttons, I suppose. But it can be overwhelming for some, having all those extra added things. She gets into her approach to cooking, which I love. Honestly, it's like a condensed version of Big Vegan Flavor, right? She talks about how salt's not the enemy, layering salt as you go to maximize the flavor, beginning with aromatics, spices and herbs are your friend. Add some heat if you like. Fear not fat. Talks about the good fats. Deglaze as you go. Don't forget the acid and dietary restrictions. She says she's got you covered in here. She also gets into pantry essentials. Pretty standard stuff for the beginning of a cookbook, ultimately. And then she has a nice little frequently asked question category section in the intro here, where she goes over FAQs. Everything from how long does it take an Instant Pot to come to pressure, to should I ever put the ingredients in the Instant Pot without the inner pot, to if I want to double a recipe, do I need to double the cook time? If I want to make only half of the recipe, do I need to reduce the cook time by half? So she really is covering some great things, including cook time for the basic stuff. So if you're a basic Betty like me making the rice, she covers basic times for cooking, asparagus, kidney beans, black lentils, all different sorts of vegetables, beans, lentils, grains, like list of those. She gives you the inside scoop on, so you can become a master of your Instant Pot, right? Remember, excuse me, this book is authorized by Instant Pot. So Instant Pot had to like get this book in their hands and be like, yes, ma'am, we approve this. So it is Instant Pot approved, and is I believe so far. I know I haven't gotten through it, but I just think it's worth every penny. Nisha is one smart cookie, and she's giving you the goods. So that was loud. I hope I didn't hurt your ears. Chapter 1 with food is pantry basics, sauces, and dips. We're going to make a mushroom broth in here, vegetable broth, vegan cheese sauce, and vegan queso, restaurant style hummus, 3 variations, game day black bean dip, fiery arrabbiata sauce, caramelized onion jam. Yes, caramelized onion jam, blueberry mojito jam, and ginger carrot miso butter. I am really stuck on that caramelized onion jam. I love an onion jam. I like an onion bacon jam if I'm going to get real about it. I remember back in the day when Herbivorous Butcher in Minneapolis was new. I ordered a bunch of bacon from them and made onion bacon jam, and I was so in love with it. But I love this idea of caramelized onion jam in the Instant Pot. So I wanted to look at this vegan cheese sauce and vegan queso. So I wanted to see if we're using, okay, so she's using cashews in here. She is using those. Now let's read her header here. It's a little lengthy, but I'm curious because, we're all into the vegan cheese. Like, who makes the best? Who does this? Who does that? How do I make it the best? She says, the last food I gave up before becoming 100% plant-based was cheese. I was, like many Americans, a cheese addict. In my quest to find substitutes, I learned that cashews can provide the creamy texture associated with cheese, that miso paste can deliver the irresistible umami taste, and that a generous amount of nutritional yeast can bring a cheesy, nutty mouthfeel. While making vegan cheese may sound daunting, this sauce is actually very simple to make. Typically, nut-based cheeses require the nuts to be soaked overnight to soften them, but you can skip that step thanks to the powerful Instant Pot. Just be sure to blend the sauce for several minutes or it'll end up with small bits of unpulverized cashews. And she's not wrong on that. Whenever you're blending cheese sauces, don't be afraid to let the blender go for a minute or two. You really want to give it time to blend up those nuts or seeds or anything you're using, so you don't have those little granules in there, so you get a nice luscious creamy sauce, right? I will say too, she's got cashews listed in here. If you have an allergy, that's the only allergen I'm seeing right now in this vegan cheese and vegan queso. So she gives you a various, so basically you can make the vegan cheese, and then she gives you options to add a few things like smoked paprika, chili powder, and ground cumin to make it a vegan queso. So she gives you options there where it makes it versatile. But I was saying, if you've got allergies, I have worked with people with allergies in a program with allergies where we've just swapped out cashews for, now you've got to get them raw, unsalted, unroasted sunflower seeds. And that's actually a pretty good swap. But that one you really got to let blend up in the blender. That's even harder to do than cashews because, they're just so fine. And so you just want to let that blender run, mama, till it's nice and smoothie and creamy. Okay, chapter 2 with food. We've got breakfast. We already mentioned that homemade coconut yogurt in the description in the beginning. Basic steel cut oatmeal, breakfast enchilada casserole, savory turmeric breakfast quinoa, butternut squash buckwheat porridge, chai spiced rice pudding, mini mushroom and leek quiches. I need to slow down to y'all. I'm so sorry. Overnight sweet potato French toast, brown rice with mushroom broth. That was brown rice congee with mushroom broth. Pumpkin spice oatmeal with coconut walnut crumble. Baked beans on toast. How British. Coconut millet porridge and spicy golden milk. So lots of stuff in there. I want to check out these steel cut oats with the 3 variations. I'm wondering what our 3 variations are here. So we've got a spiced apple walnut oatmeal, chocolate peanut butter banana oatmeal, and peaches and cream oatmeal. I was also curious about this breakfast enchilada casserole. She says, I love the ease of this dish. Simply saute a few vegetables in an abundant amount of spices and then layer them with enchilada sauce, canned beans, and corn tortillas, and cheese, of course. You cannot forget the cheese. The cheese or vegan queso really elevates this to the perfect Mexican-inspired comfort food, and no one will be mad if you use a little more than the prescribed amount of cheese. When I'm short on time, I use store-bought organic enchilada sauce, but I do love my homemade red enchilada sauce, which only takes 10 minutes to prepare. If you're more into enchiladas verdes, feel free to substitute green enchilada sauce. Lovely, lovely. I just thought that was interesting having a breakfast enchilada casserole. And it sounds really yummy. Number 3 is satisfying sides. So we've got a basic but oh so delicious Indian dal, fluffy garlic mashed potatoes. Oh, I wonder, we're going to go to that one because I'm curious. It sounds basic, but what do you do in an instant about that? You peel and put the potatoes in there, and then when are you mixing everything? What happens there? We've got Israeli couscous and lentils, Chinese takeout style tofu and broccoli. Get into it. Yes. Spicy sesame edamame. I got to make that for David. He'll love it. Classic creamy polenta, rosemary and garlic white beans, frijoles, and millet cauliflower mash, Mediterranean lentil salad, and wild rice salad with lemon shallot vinaigrette. Those do sound like satisfying side dishes, I must say. And I know it's basic, but I'm going to check out those mashed taters, see what we got going on here for the ingredient list. So we've got 2.5 pounds russet potatoes or Yukon Gold potatoes, garlic, salt, vegan butter, and 1/3 cup canned light or reduced fat coconut milk. So she's getting you that creamy goodness with that coconut milk, babes. I'm here for it. I know that's going to be good. Coconut milk in your mashed potato. Ooh, I've started using around, and the photo in here is so good. Nisha, you are so good with these photos. I've started using that Califia heavy whip or the silk heavy whip in mashed potatoes over the holidays, but coconut milk is a great option. Okay, number 4 is vegetables. So great ways to get our vegetables in. We're always looking for those. What does Nisha give us here? We've got spaghetti squash pasta puttanesca, sweet potatoes with sriracha cashew sauce, lemony asparagus with gremolata, couscous and chickpeas, stuffed bell peppers, garlicky broccoli with orange zest and almonds, and warm tahini fingerling potato salad. Yes. Oh, that sounds good. Sicilian style chard and white beans. chard and white beans. There we go. Maple carrots and ginger almond cream, sweet and spicy braised red cabbage, citrus kale and carrots, root vegetable mash, the best damn ratatouille, and green bean salad with maple tahini dressing. Let's check out the best damn ratatouille. I always am inclined to when somebody's like, it's the best. So I'm calling it the best. I'm like, okay, let's see why. Let's have Nisha tell us why it's the best. See if she does here. The best damn ratatouille, she says, according to my partner, this is the best damn ratatouille he's ever had. Well, there you go. She says, thus the recipe title. Aside from its deliciousness, it's also very healthy and it's made exclusively with vegetables, heart-healthy olive oil, and herbs. Be sure that your tomatoes are juicy and in season. I will say that, everybody. I don't buy tomatoes that often anymore, especially in the work I do, because I've been doing a lot of private chefing with meal prep stuff, and like tomatoes just kind of get gross after a couple days. But also, like when they're not in season, they're just not good. They're not yummy. It's just a thing. So she says, be sure that your tomatoes are juicy and in season. I particularly love using heirloom tomatoes during the summer. Ooh, and we're getting there. Ooh, the farmer's market here in my neighborhood in Chicago actually opens today. So maybe I'll go check that out after I'm done doing this. I can't wait for that. I've been waiting for that farmer's market to open. I'm very excited. Though they did move. It used to be 2 blocks away from me. Now it's like a mile away from me. They moved it. But I did get one summer here where it was right close to me. I got to tell you, though, I always get overwhelmed by the farmer's market. I always feel like it's fun to ask questions and learn about things, but also I'm just like, I don't know what I want to cook. I want to cook all the things. And y'all know my life at this point. I don't necessarily have time to like cook freely all the time. I'm always testing something or working on something. So I'm hoping to venture into new things where the farmer's market can inspire me. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited about that. So maybe I will go check out that farmer's market today. Well, she says, I particularly love using heirloom tomatoes during the summer as they lend a complex sweetness and succulence. Yes, they do. If flavorless, mealy water bombs are the only available form of tomato at your supermarket, I recommend using high quality canned diced tomatoes instead. That is a good recommendation, gal. You can toss this ratatouille with pasta or spread it on toasted bread for a mouthwatering crostini, but I really recommend serving it over the millet cauliflower mash or classic creamy polenta for some rustic Italian comfort food. I want that best damn ratatouille. Maybe I'll make it with some heirloom tomatoes that I get from the farmer's market. We're not quite there yet, though, right? Tomatoes, summer. I'm going to wait till like midsummer. All right. Number 5, a chapter we can all get into, is comfort food favorites. Macaroni and cheese is right up there. Number 1, ding, 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 miso mushroom risotto, 3-bean vegetable chili, Jamaican jerk jackfruit tacos, yes, lentil shepherd's pie, chickpea vegetable biryani, Tex-Mex brown rice and lentils, hearty tempeh chili, vegetable lasagna with basil, ricotta, vegetable paella, pumpkin farro risotto, lentil walnut gyros with tzatziki, and 1-pot bolognese pasta and pasta primavera alfredo and Indian lentil and rice porridge. I want all of that right now. Let's check out the miso mushroom risotto and see what she has to say about that. She says, I was a college student the first time I made mushroom risotto. I still remember the exquisite creaminess, the lingering richness, the earthy smell of mushrooms permeating my tiny 1960s era kitchen in Berkeley. My friends and I hovered around the stove, taking turns, tasting the risotto straight from the skillet, giddy with our culinary success. When I became vegan, my love for risotto grew only stronger. I learned that the secret to creamy risotto is not butter or cheese, but the starch and the arborio rice, and that the savory quality I loved about risotto could be replicated with ingredients like miso paste. That is so true. Every risotto I've ever made or put in a book, I've got miso paste involved in it because miso is magic. I think maybe when Nisha was on, her and I just had like a little love affair over miso. I think we both kind of waxed poetically about it together. Could have been her, might have been another author. We all love miso. She says, well, I think there is something special about the traditional process of making risotto, which involves standing over the stove for 30 minutes while gradually adding ladles of warm broth. I very much appreciate being able to make risotto in the Instant Pot with half the effort and time. The miso butter and mushroom broth take this risotto over the top, but if you don't feel like making the mushroom broth, this risotto is still heavenly with store-bought vegetable broth. Now, I'm turning right to the page before this because that is her mac and cheese. And I'm just trying to see what we've got. So she's using that cheese sauce in here. So you're going to have cashews in that cheese sauce. Again, if you are allergic, raw, unsalted, unroasted sunflower seeds. Great swap, my babes. Okay, number 6 is soup, stews, and curries. Now, when I think of an Instant Pot, I actually am like, oh, I'll make a soup in it. Like that's the thing I'm usually thinking of. I'm usually not thinking these amazing meals that Nisha is giving us, which I cannot wait to hopefully try when time allows. But like soups and stews are always what my brain goes to. And curries, yes, please. So she's got creamy, dreamy cauliflower soup, red lentil almond curry, French lentil soup, Thai vegetable green curry, the best corn chowder, West African peanut stew. Something about West African peanut stew just makes me want to sing and eat buckets full of it. It just sounds so delicious. Okay, we've got tofu cauliflower tikka masala, creamy carrot ginger soup, spiced lentil kale and sausage soup. We've got a pho soup in here, butternut squash chickpea tagine, Tuscan ribollita. I don't know if I know what that is. We're going to turn to that. Lemongrass ginger kabocha squash soup, white bean and broccoli soup, chana masala, red curry rice noodle soup, and easy sweet potato dal. So let's check out this ribollita. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, so apologies to anyone who's like, that's not it, it's ribollita. Well, I'm doing my best here, Tom. We're all doing our best here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Here we are. Almost to it. No, I'm lying. What page is this? 262. Oh, I went way past it. Okay. She says about the Tuscan ribollita. Ribollita. As a teenager, I watched Giada De Laurentiis show Everyday Italian, well, every day. And it taught me everything I needed to know about Italian cooking, the importance of fresh herbs, the perfect pasta and sauce pairings, and how to pronounce ciabatta and spaghetti like a real Italian. Thanks, Giada. Originating in Tuscany, possibly as early as the Middle Ages, ribollita is a soup, I really feel like I've got to be saying this wrong, is a soup that was originally made by reboiling the previous day's leftover minestrone or vegetable soup made with inexpensive ingredients like onions, carrots, and beans, and thickening up with bread. Fast forward many centuries, and the Instant Pot enables you to achieve those deep flavors in a fraction of the time. The bouquet garni also helps. A bundle of fresh herbs tied together with a string. A bouquet garni infuses the entire soup with a rich aroma and depth of flavor. This is hearty, warming Italian comfort food that would make any Italian chef proud. I hope you're reading this, Giada. And you know what? With how popular you are, Nisha, Giada might be reading this, gal. Ribollita should be a very thick, almost stew-like soup, but if you prefer a slightly more liquidy soup, feel free to add more broth or water after cooking. I usually add 1 cup during the final simmering step, but you can add up to 2 cups. One thing I really value about Nisha's culinary instruction, because she is, Nisha is really a gifted culinary educator. She really hones in on tasting your food as you're going and adding bits and pieces along the way. I think a lot of people, including myself, get impatient and you just want to like add all the stuff and have it done, right? She's really all about building flavor and tasting as you go and sort of adjusting and tweaking until you get to that final ooh ah ah sensation of a moment, right? And I really value that in Nisha's culinary education style because it's really the joy of cooking is that like tasting and being like, oh no, maybe a little bit more of this, a little bit of that. It's how you really get to understand food and your palate and tasting different things. And it's taken me a long time to get there myself. I remember, recipe testing things early on, and I would just want it to be like good right off the bat. And that's just not the case, right? Sometimes it is. I've been doing this long enough now that I'll put something together and I'll go, oh, that's great. Maybe like a pinch more of salt, but like we are good. But for the most part, you want to leave yourself room to like create and try things and make it better. That's the whole point, right? And when you're cooking, say, I just started talking sort of from the point of view of a recipe developer. But when you're cooking from home and developing recipes is not your job and you just want to cook dinner, it's the same rules apply ultimately. You're building flavors and layers upon each other to get to the end result, something that you enjoy and you hope everyone else will enjoy that you're feeding. Or maybe you're cooking for yourself. You want something you can enjoy 4 times in a row. You're not going to get sick of. You want to make something crave worthy. So the best way to do it is to Be mindful, not overdo it from the jump. The best thing to say is you can always add more salt or more spices, but once they're in, baby, you can't take them out. And then you got something to fix if you went too far. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're on our final chapter here, which it's my favorite. Desserts. I say it every episode, and here we are. Right off the bat, a double fudge chocolate cake. Also, can we just talk about cakes in an instant pot? I'm like, what now? Um, Robin Robinson's slow cooker cookbook has a pizza in it. It's a puttanesca pizza that I have made in the slow cooker now probably 10 times. I enjoy it that much. So this idea of like breads and pizzas and cakes and stuff like that in an instant pot, I am on board 110%. Mix it all together, set it, forget it, walk away. Honey, sign me up. Okay, so she starts with a double fudge chocolate cake. Then we've got apple crisp stuffed apples, mixed berry compote, Thai mango sticky rice, pecan pumpkin mousse tart, cookies and cream cheesecake, lemon poppy seed bundt cake. Oh my goodness, sweet corn rosemary cake with balsamic syrup, red wine poached pears, woo woo, peach raspberry crisp, blackberry and Meyer lemon bread pudding. Oh my gosh. Banana bread with walnut streusel. Oh, so many good things in here. I can't even handle it. Also, red wine poached pears, another like side note back to culinary school. That was like the ultimate exam when we were there, was poached pears. I can't remember. Maybe it was like the first exam, like physical cooking exam we had to take, but I remember we were all so stressed about making the perfect poached pear. And hey, we did well, all of us. I remember there were like 17 of us in the class. We all nailed it. We all crushed it. I think we all did, if memory serves. I don't know what dessert I want to look closer at here. I mean, are we seeing this? I'm seeing it, but are you hearing this? Sweet corn rosemary cake with balsamic syrup, blackberry and Meyer lemon bread pudding. Let's look at that sweet corn rosemary cake with balsamic syrup, shall we? Because what a delicious idea. And I just turned past those stuffed apples too. What a sweet little thing that would be for a dinner party for presentation. And this pecan pumpkin mousse tart. I mean, heck, cookies and cream cheesecake. I'm just saying them all over, but it bears repeating. There's a good reason to. Okay, sweet corn rosemary cake with balsamic syrup. She says, I would describe this cake as cornbread in cake form. It is sweet and savory, tender and light, and bursting with exciting flavors. It is rustic and casual, making it a perfect afternoon snack cake. In fact, every time I've baked this cake, I have found myself making frequent trips to the kitchen and lobbing off small bits of cake directly from the pan, snacking on it while I work away at my desk. Oh, Nisha, I'm the same. When I make something like this around the house, I'm like, oh, I'll just take like a little nibble. Guess what, y'all? All those little nibbles add up. There's a reason I go to the gym. Okay. I go to the gym because I like it and I want to feel strong and be able to like walk up a set of stairs without being winded. But also with all the food I consume, out of it being a sheer work hazard, the gym's a requirement for me to stay in like, not like fit, but just to like try and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Now she says, however, it is quite easy to dress up this cake. You can serve it with the rich, sticky balsamic syrup, as I did here, which sounds delightful, or with a fruit compote, such as my mixed berry compote, or the one that's in the book, or a citrus-based one. And of course, a dollop of non-dairy whipped cream would be fabulous. If you make the balsamic syrup, I insist that you avoid using a cheap balsamic vinegar. That a girl. I tried making it with $2 balsamic vinegar, and it tastes like sour, watered down alcohol. When you remove the cake from the Instant Pot, the surface might be a bit cracked, but remember, it's a rustic cake, and you can cover up the cracks with the aforementioned toppings I recommended. Serving this cake warm, as it highlights the cake's warm cornbread-like flavors. I really love that. That sounds so heavenly. I want to make it right now. So good. So many great recipes in this book. And that, my friends, let's take one look though before we wrap up. A closer look at this blackberry and Meyer lemon bread pudding. Okay. She said, the first time I tried this recipe, I ended up eating half the pan in 15 minutes because it was just that good. Girl, again, I feel you. It's pure comfort food with an elegant touch, making it the perfect dish to serve for a Mother's Day or holiday brunch. Again, this is the blackberry and Meyer lemon bread pudding. Has anything ever sounded more delicious to you? She says, plus it's so easy to make that you really can't mess it up. Simply toss together bread, berries, and a blender made batter. Spread in a pan and let the Instant Pot do the rest. Meyer lemons, a cross between lemons and mandarin oranges, have an indescribably alluring aroma. She's really got away with words. I'm taking some notes here. Sweet, sour, and floral. Akin to a bergamot. They are sweeter and less tangy than lemons, but you can use regular lemons with equally delectable results. Because blackberries can be quite tart, I macerated half of them in a bit of sugar and served them over the warm bread pudding. If fresh blackberries are hard to come by, you can substitute the frozen variety. Finally, be sure to use a crusty loaf of bread that isn't soft, or you'll end up with a sad, soggy mess. Oh, well, listen, everybody. I said, because I just kind of can't wait to cook something from this book, especially one of those desserts I mentioned. That is the Vegan Instant Pot Cookbook by the one and only Nisha Vora. Of course, you all know you can follow Nisha at Rainbow Plant Life on socials, and let's cheer her on as a nominee for a James Beard Award. Really excited for her. Of course, you can get Nisha's debut cookbook, the Vegan Instant Pot Cookbook, and her second cookbook, the James Beard nominated Big Vegan Flavor, everywhere books are sold. I've included links in the show notes for you to purchase them right now if you wish. And thanks again for tuning in, y'all. Don't forget, you can get brand new recipes every single week at keeponcookin.com. There's no G there. It's just like the podcast, keeponcookin.com. And also recipes and episode updates on Instagram at Keep On Cookin' with Dustin Harder. Again, no G. At Keep On Cookin' with Dustin Harder. Hope you follow me there. With all these free recipes and resources, you have no reason, my dears, not to get in the kitchen and keep on cooking. And that's it for today. Thanks again for listening. And hey, remember, it's nice to be nice. This has been a Muzzy Cat production.